Hey there, and welcome to the Coaching Floors podcast. This is Dr. Jen, and each week we'll be doing interviews to inform our listeners about techniques to help children with complex communication needs discover their voice with AAC. Stay tuned. Hey there, we have been talking about aided input as an intervention to support children's communication and language development who use AAC to communicate. This week, I thought it would be helpful if we shared some tips to support the aided input intervention. Add stimulating vocabulary such as questions and comments. The children, when I work with them at snack and mealtime, they love to have yummy and yucky on their devices because they love to say that peas are yucky. They find that so motivating to have fun language like that on their devices. Another helpful planning tip, as you start modeling, you may notice you don't have enough words to say what you want, and the team will need to develop a plan for adding new words. You might have to work with parents on programming or letting them know, hey, if you find you need some words at home, write it in the notebook and I'll add it the next day. Or maybe work out a system with the SLP for adding new words. Whatever it may be, just know that that device might need to grow as the language is growing as well. You can also engineer the environment by adding symbols to toys, objects, and books, and discuss if the peers will use modeling. Will the child's peers be able to use the child's device too and provide some of that language opportunity in modeling? Our students often find it really engaging and motivating when their peers begin using their device too. So some great activities for that to happen is at center time with like blocks or even games. Games are great times for children to be modeling on the devices and playing in that interaction. Something else I love talking with teachers about is sabotage. We can actually plan to sabotage our child and it is okay. So if you decide you're going to do it during mealtime, did this with my little boy often, I wouldn't give him everything he needed. If he was having cereal, I might put the cereal on the table but not the bowl or not the spoon. And I would wait for him to initiate that he needed a spoon to then give it to him. It can be kind of fun to think about how we can set up opportunities for the child to request something. Or if you know that your child is just going to get up and go get the spoon, be ready to stop them and provide that modeling of, oh, spoon, please, and then provide the spoon. They don't have to. We're not going to make them, but just model for them. I have a planning sheet, and it will be uploaded to coachingfloors.com so that you can download it. But oftentimes, I like to think about the language function, what you're going to do and say, and what you're going to model when I'm planning for this. So let's say we do find that snack time is very motivating for the child, and we'll think we'll be able to easily engage with them. Oftentimes, when we are doing language function, we don't even realize it, but as teachers, we're always questioning our children. So we want to plan that we do more than just ask questions. We need to model initiating and commenting and rejecting. So on this aided input planning sheet, it's really nice to have those language functions laid out so that we can think, oh yeah, I got to do more than just model questions. I also have to model commenting, or I have to model initiating. Or rejecting, too. Do you want these peas? No, I don't like peas. They are yucky. So in that next comment says, do action or gesture. You might put your hand up and wrinkle your nose and make a disgusting face, and then say, yucky, and then press yucky on their device. That would be modeling one word. If you are far enough along in this that you would say, that is yucky, on their device, if you would model and touch, that is yucky, that would be a 3-word in the 3-word column. So hopefully you would see as you're using these planning sheets over time that you go from modeling 1 and 2 words to modeling 3+ words. The exciting thing about aided input is that it is modeling the things that you would say in your everyday activities with the children. So it doesn't have to be a separate or an extra lesson. If you wanted it to, you could plan for your communication in targeted language within your daily activities as well. So if one of your goals for the students to learn core vocabulary words, but if one of your goals was to learn some of those words, you might plan for those within your daily activities. So if you're going to use aided input during story time, when you're planning for that story time lesson, you might also plan for modeling a few targeted. You can also model what to do to repair the communication or when mistakes are made. So when you're in the child's device and you can't find where a word is, you can model that too. You can model, not there, go home and press the home key. Or, I want food, I want goldfish. I'm going to look in the food category. So you can kind of do some think alouds too when you're doing the modeling so that the children know what you're thinking about and how they should be thinking when they're looking for a word. You're also going to be modeling for them how this device navigates. So if you're using the pod with different pages in it and you have to flip from one page to the next, or you're using a speech generating device that is dynamic and it goes from page to page, they'll also see how to operate that device. And when you clear the message after you have said what you intended to say, or if you play the message again to hear the whole message at once. Say it was reading each word as you typed it in. You might then hit the command bar at the top to hear the whole sentence read as a sentence. Or they'll see you turn up the volume or turn it down. Or, hey, I'm at lunch right now, so I need to turn up the volume because it's loud in here. Or it's rest time. I'm going to turn down the volume so that I'm whispering. So they really get to see modeling of how to use their device too. So there you have it, some tips for implementing aided input with augmentative and alternative communication. When you get started this week, be thinking about adding stimulating vocabulary, using the planning sheet, and doing think-alouds when modeling the use of AAC. Thank you for listening to today's podcast. If you could, subscribe to the podcast so you get notified when new episodes are released, and check out Coaching Flores on Facebook and coachingflores.com for downloads. I hope you heard something that inspires you. I'll see you next week.